Allison Johansson here with Supported Change. I'm doing a 5-video series on when to know that you're ready for bilateral stimulation or dual attention stimuli. Depending on when you're trained, I've heard both phrases used. And this is designed for EMDR therapists. So this is a 5-video series, and today is the 4th video, and we're going to talk about when to go for it. There's a bunch of advanced protocols out there that talk about if you can't do standard protocol, if someone can't sit in the past, how do I clear out stuff to get to the past? So there are reverse protocols, future, present, past. There's the Louis protocol, level of avoidance by Jim Knipe. I think there's a million out there, but those are the 2 that I use the most, along with sometimes doing in vivo, so present, what's coming up for you, future, past, or present, past, future, depending on what makes sense. Now, some of this is therapeutic intuition, but I always ask my intuition, why are you doing this? Because I want to check in and make sure that I'm not matching a client's franticness to get better. That's a really great way to get yourself into trouble. So there's a couple things that I do. I see how well someone can kind of sit with the weird that is therapy and EMDR therapy. So sometimes that means I really go into the science. I talk about polyvagal theory. I talk about this very logical stuff and then say, how does that apply to you? That forces someone to be able to challenge themselves to get into their body, but with logic. So if it's a very logical person, that allows me to see how well they can get into the somatic stuff that is EMDR and how well they can sit in it. So a lot of my questions are about how well can you sit in your body? Sometimes people say, I don't know. So I say, can you feel it in your chest? Can you feel it in your stomach? Again, checking in on that polyvagal theory. Can you feel it in your back? Can you feel it in your head? Okay, that's something to work with. So just kind of really assessing how well they can sit in their body, but then also teaching them how to assess how present they are in the room. One of my favorite questions to ask is, can you feel your fingertips? Notice that when you do that. Can you feel the ridges of your fingertips? That's pretty hard to do when you're present. Or I might say, when you look around this room, how present do you feel in your body? Do you feel like you're in your body, or where do you feel like you are? And a lot of times people can kind of answer that more than you think they might be able to. And then you can assess how much are we going to work towards getting into our body to do the EMDR work, because so much of EMDR is somatic. And then the other thing is really just conversation, making sure our vibe is good, making sure we know each other, making sure that they can ask questions, making sure that we can be honest with each other. And sometimes I'll even ask questions, I'm good, what's good? Or I'm trying to think of something I might say. Someone says, I did a lot better last week. And you're like, did you? Just tell me a little bit about that. And that allows for this space for them to be honest and for you to assess how comfortable they are with vulnerability. Because you are going to have to be vulnerable no matter what you do in this. So all of this being said, I encourage you to get consultation on this because these are really kind of my basic, and it takes a lot more than that for each individual client. But those are the biggies before I start any bilaterals. And if I'm not doing bilaterals, I'm doing some different resourcing. Maybe I'm doing a little bit of ego state parts work. Maybe I'm doing some psychoeducation stuff. Maybe I'm doing some DBT. That's my original background, and sometimes I just start with those skills. You do not have to jump into these things quickly. This isn't the only way to make progress. People can make progress through resourcing. And I think we know that EMDR works so well that we want to jump into 4+ stages of the therapy without allowing for some space to grow in other ways before starting that. And so really thinking about, when am I ready? When am I ready to jump in? When does it make sense to do some of these advanced protocols? And when does it make sense to do some of the old therapies that I knew before so that I can build up to maybe do the advanced protocols and then go into the past and start doing standard protocol? But really being logical and really being intentional about when you decide is important so that you're not running off of that emotion mind and you're not running off of the franticness to get better, because we want all of our clients to get better and they all want to get better. So I hope this was helpful, and I will see you in the 5th video.